Let's take a look at using Timberline and Autodesk QTO together. We're in a model here in QTO, and I'm going to import some data. I'm going to import a catalog. I'm going to grab that catalog from my drop-down here. We're going to get a PEI file, which is a Sage Timberline Office database. And you see I've got one there. Let me go grab another one. No, we'll just use this one. Okay, so I'm going to import this. And what you're going to see when I import it is that it's going to show me the assemblies and items that are part of my Timberline database structure. And you see I can go inside, I can take a look at what's in there, I can turn things on and off that I want to import. You can see I have all my different assemblies in there. These are all from Timberline. And I can do the same thing with my items. You see all my items there. And if I want to save that, I can save which ones I've selected for future import. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'll hit OK. And watch my takeoff palette over there to the left. You see there's some items and assemblies in there. And it's exactly what you saw in that sort view. So essentially now what I've done is I've taken the same items from Timberline, I've brought them right into QTO as a tree that I can now begin to use to do takeoff. So what this does for me is it allows me to map my model, my Revit model, or what have you, to the categories in Timberline that I want to use to estimate that model. So let's go take a look at one. Let's look at some walls, and I'm just going to expand my walls here. We'll go down and pick a certain type of wall. Use these interior partitions, type 10, and if I isolate these, you will see that that's a set of interior partitions that I've got, and I'm going to go ahead and just take those off to an item. And the item I'm going to use is one of my Timberline assemblies. So I'm going to go into Timberline structure and find the corresponding wall that is the same type as that wall, which is this one here. I'm going to select that, and what you'll see is that it's going to grab all those walls and it's going to put them into that category, into that bucket. And it found 278 objects. And if we go and we look at that, you can see that if I go down to the wall, let's see, it's in there. There they are. They're all selected, and they're already set up. Now the only thing I need to do is to go in and make sure that I tell it, I want to count my walls, not undefined. I want to count them by linear feet. And you see here that I have my dimensions show up. And then I need to go into my catalog parameters, and I need to set what formula do I use to calculate those parameters. And I've got the length and I've got the height. And instead of just putting in a number, I can go and actually grab the length value property for each one of those objects. And instead of just using a flat 8-foot height, I can grab the actual height of each one of those objects. And what that'll do is it's going to make my estimate that much more accurate, because now each wall segment will have its length and height in QTO, which means it'll also go into Timberline. If we go and we look at any one of these walls, you can see here that there's the height, 12 feet, so it actually wasn't 8 feet high, and the length is 7. So now I'm going to take this data, and let's say I kept doing that with all the other objects. I'm going to go ahead now and export this to Timberline. And let's say I'm ready to go and go look at this, how this looks. I'm just, instead of an XML spreadsheet, I'm going to use the PEE file, which is the Timberline estimate format. And let's move over to Timberline now and take a look at that. I'm going to go into Timberline and open it, and there it is right there. And you'll see when I open it that all of those assemblies are in here. So I can go and I can see how my takeoff from QTO is estimated using the Timberline estimating tool, because I've taken those exact data file of objects from QTO and I've brought them into Timberline seamlessly. So now I can begin to do my estimate, and that's how it works.